Mark chapter 3, verses 13 to 19. This is the calling of the 12 disciples or apostles. It's a key moment. The ones who are going to be closest to him. And it's interesting because we have various lists and they're nearly always in the exact same order. It's like a pecking order. Who was best or who was most famous. So you've got the big three, Peter, James and John, those who are obviously an inner circle. And they're the ones who go further into Gethsemane than the rest. And they're shown to be fairly influential. And it's Peter who was the one who confessed Jesus first as Christ, but also who denied Jesus as Christ. Interesting that, isn't it? And James, one of the first to follow Christ, the leader of the church at Jerusalem, with his brother John, the ones who were going to be called, who Jesus called sons of thunder. Why is that then? It could mean that they had a kind of volatile temperament. Sons of thunder. Moody, up and down. And then Andrew, the first evangelist, the first one who brought somebody else, literally, his brother Simon Peter, to Christ. Andrew stays silent. He's in the background in the New Testament the whole way through. And, you sort of imagine him in the crowd saying, that's my brother Peter. I brought him. Key people, aren't they, who bring other people. Then Philip brings his friend Bartholomew, and Nathaniel, the one that Jesus had a vision of under the fig tree. And then Matthew, the tax collector, one of the least likely. You know those things that they get in schools where they say, the least likely to succeed. Did you get one of those badges? Well, Matthew would have got one. He was a total outsider, total disreputable character. The guy who writes the gospel, the guy who's right there, one of the 12 called to be with Jesus. Thomas, the one who we know about doubting Jesus, who went on to great things. James, possibly Matthew's brother, who was martyred for his faith. Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot. We don't really know anything about those guys outside of these few references in the New Testament. And then last in the list, always last, is Judas, the traitor, the one who betrayed Jesus. So you can see, why did he pick them? Did he pick them for their ability? No. Did he pick them for their discretion or intelligence or wisdom or prophetic insight? No. Well, why then? Was it attitude? Were they willing to be used? They're very fallible. Only one made it to the cross. Only one. Everybody else ran. One refused to believe that Christ has risen. All of them were scared stiff, hiding in a borrowed room, worrying about what was going to happen to them. Really petty people. You remember that time Jesus wanted to go into this village and they refused to have him, so James and John said, shall we call down fire from heaven and bomb them to bits, Lord? Really gracious, loving attitude. Why did he pick somebody like that? And Peter said, I will die for you. And then the next moment he swears that he doesn't know him. And why did Jesus pick Judas? You could sort of say he was omniscient, so he knew Judas would betray him. So you say, why then? Or you could say he just had powerful insight into human personality and he knew Judas might betray him. But he did anyway. And he picked him, whether or not. So Jesus uses imperfect vessels. The thing that comes to me, I read it from this friar wrote a few weeks ago, Dominican friar. He wrote, Jesus loves people of incongruity. Isn't that nice? We're really diverse, aren't we? We are boring and funny. We are vivacious and smelly. We are up and down. We are all over the place. We have different skin colours. We have different temperaments. Some people are so, and some people are so quiet. And I love that. I think that's a really powerful statement. Diversity. We have a difference in temperament. We have difference in volume control. And Jesus clothes himself with incongruity, with diversity, with inappropriate people who put their foot in it in a 20-minute cycle every now and then. It's a picture of the fun and the colour and the vitality of God. Maybe he chose the 12 not for their appropriateness, but for their differentness. Jesus didn't pick them because of their suitability. He picked them because of their incongruity. Think of them, not because of their fullness, not because of their academic achievement, but out of their emptiness they were selected to become people for others. Human standards tends to try to create the perfect choice. That's all right. And the problem lies on humans' denial of the need to God. And to make the matter worse, it's God here who is needing men. The choosing of the 12. There's a song by Casting Crowns, and it says this: not because of who I am, but because of what you've done. Not because of what I've done, but because of who you are. God bless you today. He chooses you. Imagine that.